Well, we've had spotty showers since about 7 a.m. here in D.C., and the radar indicates it's going to continue, but nothing to stop football from happening at FedEx Field.
They love their football in this part of the country, and this crowd is ready to go as their guys will match up
with the Dallas Cowboys. It's 3-0 versus 2-1, a good early season battle as we're underway in Week 4.
Fielded right around the 8. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
Shake and bake. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. Some tough running, but it only gets him to the 45. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
8 yards to go on second down. And quickly to the outside, that's caught by Lamb.
Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
They'll run for the first time with Antonio Gibson.
And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
Well, this defense for the Cowboys, they were very strong in the win last week over the Giants.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there. And they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
Working with a 2nd and 4. Gibson here running out of the gun.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
So, Charles, you talk about this head coach and his future with this franchise. Look, it's been a frustrating year, and I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier in the week.
Yeah, he's trying to say all the right things, isn't he? But he's heard the rumors. He knows what's going on out there. And right now, He is tired of having to answer the question, are you on the hot seat, in every meeting with reporters. This week, he kind of said, I've had enough, and I don't blame him. He looks like a guy that may very well be out the door.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Looking to throw. Franklin. They'll set up the screen for Gibson. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. So Charles, first drive here, little safe completion underneath. Maybe get some rhythm, get your feet wet, so to speak.
I agree, and I like it because it's a lot like a basketball game when you're getting started and you pass the ball around so everyone touches it early and gets involved in the game. In this case, it's not just dumping it to a back and he's able to run with the ball, but you get your offensive linemen involved because they get to get out and run and hit people in the open field. Everyone getting their feet wet early.
Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw.
That's out to the flat for Gibson.
He's down inside the 10 to the 8, and it comes on a gain of 8.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
Ball on the 8, 2nd and 2.
They'll look to throw again. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Credit the sack to Jonathan Hankins.
Well, when you time those screen passes perfectly, they can work perfectly, but that time it took a little too long to develop.
And you zeroed in on exactly what makes that play go. Timing. Because if the timing's off at all, those unblocked defenders coming at the quarterback, they'll put him on the deck.
To throw on 3rd down, Franklin. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
So, yes, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
Fielded right around the 8. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
A first down carry by Elliott. Good cover defensively as they get to him just beyond the 45 after the broken tackle. A tackle by Cole Holcomb.
Not a lot of running room there, not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. The give is to Elliott. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Second and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll try to throw now. Prescott. And a quick throw here that's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Dak swinging this out quickly to Lamb. And the Cowboys are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
You have to ask the question, where was the help? Because it's a little surprising to me that he'd find that much room to run this close to the end zone. He doesn't quite get there, but he sets his guys up with a 1st and goal.
Elliott. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. And one of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Again, it's Elliott. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. Gonzalez good on the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away.
Fields this way up at the 17.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Here's 2nd and a yard.
Operating from the gun. Franklin got a man. It's Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the gun, Franklin. This will be caught once again by Brown. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down.
Shotgun handoff to Gibson.
And he'll be taken down at the 33, a pickup of about 4.
Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope and it's hard to stop the fall. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with what we're doing. Come on, let's get on board.
So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. Operating from the gun, Franklin.
That's into a crowd and intercepted.
Lonnie Johnson picks it.
And the Cowboys are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have, and think back.
Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time, they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. Running the jet sweep as Prescott bats it forward. Finding some room at midfield. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
18 more yards there and another first down.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On first down, Elliott. And he's taken down inside the 30. 54 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
Here's Elliott. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Working with 2nd and 5 now.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Tenth carry now for Elliott. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half.
On 2nd down, it's Pollard. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
Now Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts.
So as they take it over, we step aside. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Now Prescott. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, You can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
So they'll come away with nothing here. A disappointing result even on a day like this.
And as a kicker in the rain, you've got to slow things down a little bit. Give your holder an extra half second to make sure everything's secure. And here, he might have rushed this one a little, and it winds up no good.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. 8 more yards this time, coming off back-to-back first down pickups.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw again.
Oh, looking for Waller, but this is intercepted. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And the Cowboys are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
So time perhaps for one final kneel down before they take this lead to the locker room. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson.
And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection.
On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. That one definitely helps as they try to push the ball down the field here, trailing early in the third quarter.
And even though they're trailing, not abandoning the running game. People may call it an adjustment. I think it's just much more sticking to what works for you and continuing to have faith in it. And the running game is starting to pay off.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
A carry for Gibson.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. It's Kareem Jackson making the play defensively.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Off play action. Franklin. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
They'll run on 1st down. Gibson. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
They'll go again with Gibson.
And give him about 3 as he gets it down to the 22-yard line.
Well, at that rate, picking up 3 yards a carry, you and I both know that doesn't cut it in this league and trying to get first downs unless you're playing 4-down football. Then that's a whole different situation, but I don't think that's what they're trying to do here. 3rd and 4, though, is still manageable.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back to throw. Franklin. Got a man. It's Darren Waller. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. A bit of a catch for him to remember. That's number 400 for his NFL career. Not a bad number at all. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Looking to throw. Franklin. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. From the gun, Franklin.
And this is taken in for a Washington touchdown. Antonio Gibson,
his 4th touchdown on the year.
And Washington able to make this a close game again. And we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs, and I think they're going to at least take a look at this. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. And now the Washington offense going to stay out there and go for 2.
They'll look to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Snags it for the pick. And the Cowboys
Cowboys are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a one-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a one-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
Second down and 3. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and give the football right back, because your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Trying to run for it with Pollard. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
They stay on the ground, but this time it's Elliott. Oh, he bowls over it. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 89 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Takes it down to the 10-yard line. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs, because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
On second down, Elliott. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long. Down well short of the first at about the 9-yard line. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Gonzalez's kick is good, and that'll push the lead up to 8. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you see a lot of guys sag, and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
3 quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Here's a give to Gibson. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
So, Charles, you talk about this head coach, and let's face it, this season certainly has not gone the way many had expected or at least hoped. And I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier this week.
Yeah, we certainly did, didn't we? Because, let's face it, he's heard the whispers, and they're growing louder that he shouldn't be around next year. He essentially stormed out of that meeting you just referenced with the reporters. How did he end it? We're done here. Well, that's a function of losing and all the pressure that's on him. You hear about pressure creating diamonds? In this case, it's bursting the pipes of the coach.
Eluding the pressure right. He'll find Paris Campbell. That's complete. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 44-yard line.
And that's a much-needed first down right there. Look, they're down by 8. So logic says they don't have to get a touchdown out of this drive. But the way things are going, I don't know if I'd put it in the hands of my defense here. You might not get the ball back at all. So if a 4th down situation comes up, I'm thinking hard about going for it right here and right now.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Washington on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Back to throw. Franklin. Throw to the right here, taken in by McLaurin. He's still barreling through.
I don't care how how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On 1st and 10, Franklin.
He's got it to Gibson.
And down inside the 15 he goes.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw.
And he'll complete this to Gibson.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3.
I like the play design there. They occupied the defense downfield, everyone trying to account for someone. But unfortunately, they didn't account for the running back slipping out of the backfield. And he was absolutely unnoticed and wound up getting big yards on that play.
Gibson.
And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
2nd and goal from the 1. Looking to throw. Franklin to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
This Cowboy defense trying to hold him out of the end zone. They've run it to 3rd and goal. Back to throw. Franklin. And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. Darren Waller, his 5th touchdown now on the year.
And Washington now within a 2-point conversion of tying this game. So Washington now with an important 2-point conversion attempt.
They'll try and throw for it. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. And a failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback. Because to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My high school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down.
Under 10. Here we go, 46.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, they didn't accomplish their goal. They didn't get a stop there, gave up another first down. They have all 3 timeouts in their pocket. I think defensively you've got to start thinking about using them here.
I was just going to ask you at what point you think now's the go time?
I think now's the go time. I don't think you sit back and wait because they can take a lot of time off the clock between plays and run 3 to 4 and really put you in a stressful spot.
They'll try and run some clock now with Elliott. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
Coming up on a 2nd and 6.
Again, it's Elliott.
And he'll get 2 or 3 out of that one, as that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning.
2 minutes remain, and that's our score differential as well. 2 points here in the 4th quarter. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. A first down carry by Elliott. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A 20th carry here for Elliott. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout,
as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line.
148 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
The Cowboys on their way to victory as they take a knee. Wentz with a kneel down, and that will be the final act of this game. And the clock will roll down to zeros. 4 weeks in, 4-0. I don't think anybody needs to alert the 72 Dolphins just yet, but great start to the season.
Great start. How about him taking a knee at the end? And there's no better feeling for a team than to do that, to close out a victory. But you're right, at 4-0, they're sending a message to the rest of the league. They're going to be tough to deal with.
So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And I tell you, these division games, never for the faint of heart, but they come through with a tight victory here on the road.
And you find yourself working hard.